Happy New Year, book nerds. We have a lot to talk about. It's 2026 now, but we need to close up 2025. So let's dive in and see how I did on my reading goals this year. I had 4 reading goals and I hit all of them. So let's talk about each one. My first reading goal was to read 11 books in 2025 and I read 17. So I knocked that out of the park. So happy about it. My second reading goal was to read 4 books off of a list I had created. I had done a previous video about books that I have not read that are commonly taught in English classes, books that I had on my physical TBR, but I had not read yet. So off of this list of commonly taught books in English classes, I had to read 4 of them, and I did it. I read all 4 of them, and not only that, I also read a bunch of books that I would be teaching in my own English class that was not on this list. So I actually read 4 books in addition to that I'm teaching in my own class this year. So 4 plus 4, like it's insane. My third reading goal was to complete a series that I had previously started, and I also did that. I had previously read the Hunger Games trilogy, but I never read the prequels, so I decided to read both prequels and then reread the Hunger Games trilogy, which was so much fun. And then my fourth and final goal for the year was to finally record a bookshelf tour, and I did that. It didn't happen when I had anticipated it. I thought I'd do it over the summer, but it didn't happen till almost the end of the year, but I did it. So we managed to hit all of my goals for 2025. I didn't think I was going to be able to do them, to be honest. I thought a couple of them, they just weren't going to happen this year, which I was going to be okay with, but I did them. So I'm super, super proud of myself, guys. Like, not gonna lie. It was a crazy year, with it being my first year of teaching and still having grad school and student teaching this year, and like everything was crazy. Now, we've got a lot to talk about yet. We're going to talk about my Goodreads stats, and then we will get into my book ranking, because I know you guys want to know what my book of the year was, right? So let's go through my stats for the year. So I read a total of 5,904 pages. And again, that was over 17 books. I actually read 1 less book this year than last year. Last year I read 18 books, but my page count was like 1,000 pages more. So we read some bigger books this year than last year for sure. My shortest book this year was Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, which is a graphic novel, and that is by Benjamin Harper and Dano Sanchez Almara, which only had 72 pages. My longest book was Essential Tales and Poems by Edgar Allan Poe, which had 653 pages. My average book length for the year was 347 pages, which is about 100 pages higher than my average from last year. My most shelved book on Goodreads, so this is the book that other people have shelved the most that I read, was The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which 12,900,629 other people have also shelved. My least shelved book was Essential Tales and Poems by Edgar Allan Poe, which only 308 people have shelved on Goodreads. And then some additional stats of my own that weren't from Goodreads. I read 4 ancient classics. What I term ancient classics is books that are 1,000 years old or older. So I read 4 ancient classics this year. I read 2 classics this year, so that's books that are 100 to 1,000 years old. I read 1 modern classic, so one book that was 50 to 100 years old, and then 10 modern books, so books that are under 50 years old. So if you take all the classics together, I had 7 and then 10 modern. So it's almost pretty even between my classics readings and my modern reading. But this was kind of the year for ancient classics because I read 4 of them, and normally I don't read very many ancient classics. So that was a lot of fun. All right, let's get into ranking my books. There weren't any books that I outright despised this year. Like if I despise a book, like I will not keep it on my shelves. I didn't get rid of any books this year. I liked all of them. Some I just liked more than others. There was a lot of books that I loved this year. It was a very, very good reading year for me. For all these books, guys, like it's not just like based on the writing style or anything. Like these books, it's the writing style, it's my enjoyment of it. So like this is just my opinion, so please just take it all with a grain of salt. If you love one of these books and it's lower on my list, like it's just my opinion. And if you hate one of the books that I have high up on my list, again, it's just my opinion, guys. Something has to come in last though, and unfortunately this is an easy choice for me. I just really didn't enjoy this one that much. It wasn't a bad book, but coming in at number 17 is Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. This is a graphic novel, and again, it's by Benjamin Harper and Dano Sanchez Almara. This is a retelling of Charles Dickens's classic tale, and I will have a book review coming for it. I don't have it up yet. This was the last book I read of the year, and it just did not compare to the original at all. So, I mean, how could it? But it just fell really flat for me. I didn't hate it, but it just felt like a watered down version of Charles Dickens's story. So, coming in at number 17 here. Number 16 is Miles Morales' Spider-Man by Jason Reynolds. I do have a book review for this one, so if you want to know about it, go check it out. I have a book review for all but 2, so I will let you know which other book I don't have a book review up for yet. That will be coming. But otherwise, all the rest have book reviews. So, number 16, Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Just didn't quite hit the superhero story that I was looking for, that I was expecting. So that's why it's falling a little shorter. Coming in at number 15 is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Number 14 on my list is Miles Morales Suspended by Jason Reynolds. This is the sequel to the other book. I liked this one much more than the first one. I really liked this one. Number 13 is The Oresteia, Agamemnon the Libation Bearers, the Eumenides by Aeschylus. This was one of my ancient classics that I read this year. This was actually a reread, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. This is a play, so this is the only play that I read this year. Number 12 is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, another reread. And then number 11 is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. Again, another reread. Now we're to my top 10. So coming in at number 10 is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Number 9 on my list is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I loved this book way more than I expected to. I liked this more than Sunrise on the Reaping, and I think I'm in the minority when I say that, but I really, really enjoyed this. Could not stop thinking about this book. I didn't like the movie as much, but I really liked the book. Number 8 is Seed Folks by Paul Fleischman. Number 7 is Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech. Coming in at number 6 is The Odyssey by Homer. The fact that this book is not in my top 5 and is coming in at number 6 just tells you how good of a reading year I had, because man, I really enjoyed this. And so the fact that it's only number 6 on my list just tells you how much I enjoyed most of my reading this year. So unfortunately, it's number 6, but I really, really liked The Odyssey. All right, top 5. Coming in at number 5 is The Jungle Books by Rudyard Kipling. I loved this. This was so much fun. I love the Disney movie, The Jungle Book, and reading about Mowgli and getting the actual story that it was based off of was just so enjoyable. I just loved this. There's some additional stories in here that have nothing to do with Mowgli, but even those were entertaining and I enjoyed most of those too. So The Jungle Books is number 5 for me this year. Number 4 is the Aeneid by Virgil. I didn't think this would crack my top 5, to be honest. When I first started it, I was like, yeah, it's fine. But then I got sucked in and I loved it. It was so good. And I thought I would like the Odyssey more than this, but then this surpassed my love for the Odyssey. I was taken by surprise with the Aeneid. Super good book. Okay, my top 3, these were all really close, I'll be honest. They were really close, but I am pretty set with my ranking of them. But they're all so close. They could almost be interchangeable, but I'm pretty sure I have them in the right order, even though they were all super good, super close reads. So enjoyable. So number 3 is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This book wowed me. Again, like the first half, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's a book. I wasn't sucked in quite yet. And then the second half gripped me and never let me go. And so I think it would have ranked higher if I had been sucked in sooner. But the second half of this book just took me away. And it's so short, guys. It's like 202 pages. I don't have my review out for this yet, so this is the other one that will be coming soon in the new year. So watch for that. But I loved this book. I have lots of thoughts, so watch for my review. Coming in at number 2, guys, this was the year of Edgar Allan Poe. So we have Essential Tales and Poems, and I love Edgar Allan Poe. I was so taken by so many of the stories and poems in here and the essays. Like everything just sucked me in. I was so invested. This was so much fun. I was like a giddy kid reading these horror stories. Like I just could not put it down. I enjoyed it so much. The only reason it's not number 1 is because I didn't quite like his novel. His novel I have feelings about, but everything else in here, amazing. So you have to remember this is a collection of his works, so it's hard to rank it all as one unit, because like there are some poems that are like way up here and some short stories that are way up here, and like his novel is probably last on my list for the year, to be honest, if I were taking them individually. But taking it all as a collection, as one, it's ranking number 2 for me. This was great. There were so many signs for me this year that I needed to read Edgar Allan Poe, and it did not disappoint me. He is an amazing writer. All right, guys, that leaves my number 1 book for 2025. Number 1 is The Iliad by Homer. This was my first read of the year, and it stuck with me all year long. I loved this. This was wonderful. I'm obsessed with history and the Trojan War and Greek and Roman goddesses, and this sucked me in so much. I could not stop reading about Achilles. Like I was just in love with this story, and my only disappointment was that it wasn't longer, and I wanted it to be so much longer than it was, and it's already huge, guys. Like it is gigantic, and I just adored this. and I cannot recommend it enough. I'm surprised when people say that they skip the Iliad and go right to reading the Odyssey. The Odyssey is amazing, but I loved the Iliad more. This is definitely my book of the year, and I won't stop thinking about it for a long time to come. So much of modern stories pull from the Iliad, pull from Greek and Roman mythology, and reading this has given me a layer to my background that, like, I can see the influence in other things I read, and I highly, highly recommend this book. So wonderful. And this translation by Enos Rees was great. I really liked it. Super good. So there you have it, guys. Those are my stats, my book goals, my rankings for 2025. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with me, if you agree with my rankings. Like, what were your top books of the year? I want to know. What were your Goodreads stats? Let me know. Did you hit all your goals for 2025? Drop down in the comments and we can chat more there. I hope you had a lovely new year, and here's to 2026. I will see you guys next Monday. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.